Good afternoon, Harlem and Harlems of the world. I am Terri Wisdom, and this is Harlem Network News. Harlem Network News is the voice and the drumbeat of Harlem. We have been existing since the onset of COVID, and it has been quite a journey, and we are still here. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, HarlemNetworkNews.com, and of course, Facebook, coming to you live. It is our honor today. I first, of course, want to just salute the ancestors and all of those that have gone before us. I would also like to wish our Honorable Assemblywoman Inez Dickens a happy birthday. She's got a boat ride going on today. The Apollo had an uptown last night that Forces of Nature opened. We want to wish Dr. Reverend Calvin O. Butts and Mrs. Butts a happy 50th. So as you can see, there's a lot going on in Harlem and Harlems of the world. But today I have some very, very, very special guests with me in the first half hour. And I have the folks that are putting together the Wakanda Celebration. And also, speaking about that, and main players in this are Rose Luangisa, Aiassatou Bey Grecia, and Brother Pitsara. And they are all here with us on Harlem Network News. I am first going to go to Sister Rose Luangisa and Aiassatou Bey Grecia. So please tell us a little bit about this Wakanda celebration. And before I go further, I also want to say it's very befitting that we're doing the Wakanda celebration, because yesterday was the first anniversary of the transition of our great Chadwick Boseman. So we want to salute you, Chad. Thank you. Okay, so we can move forward. Thank you. Rose, Aiassatou.
Hi, everybody. This is Rose Luangisa. I'm the founder of Wakanda Celebration. And Wakanda Celebration it's in its 4th year now. And salute to our ancestor, Chadwick Boseman. We do remember him. And we named our celebration Wakanda just because of Black Panther. Thank you to our ancestor.
Okay.
So this is the 4th year of the Wakanda Celebration. And it's not just that we're trying to mimic the movie and just salute the movie, but although that's really important to us, and it's a moment in time that will always stick with us, Wakanda. But Wakanda, the principle of the movie had to do with unity. It had to do with bringing all the different tribes together, all of the different nations for the greater good of the world. And that is the core concept that we are working with this Wakanda celebration. Because Wakanda is fictitious, but Africa is real, and Africans are real, and Africans all over the diaspora are real, and our commitment to unity has got to be real. So it's based on that September 4th, we'll be having up here in Mount Vernon.
Okay.
Yeah, up in Mount Vernon.
Okay, and sorry, Aiassatou Bey Grecia, not to interrupt you, but our audience is all over the nation and it's all over the world. So when you say Mount Vernon, let them know where Mount Vernon is. And
Mount Vernon is right outside of New York City, right outside of Harlem. We get to Harlem very quickly to Mount Vernon on two stops on the Metro North and about a 20-minute ride on the subway. So it's not that far, and it's beautiful. It looks like other places outside of the city.
It's in Westchester County.
Thank you.
Westchester
All
County.
right.
Lower
Okay.
Hudson.
We want to everybody, one of our big things here, and for those of you who are just joining, I'm Terri Wisdom, and this is Harlem Network News, and we have some honorable folks that are putting together for the 4th year a great celebration, the Wakanda Celebration, and they're just sharing a bit about it. And I loved what you said, Aiassatou Bey Grecia, that Africa is a real place, and we're happy that Wakanda, Wakanda Forever really just energized that, but this is real. And it is about the comings together. So go forward. Thank you.
So we brought in Brother Pitsira, who is one of the master musicians that's coming to us. Pitsira, would you talk a little bit about what you do? So, there's going to be vendors, there's going to be entertainment all day. There's going to be an incredible wearable art extravaganza experience that Pitsira is involved with. So I'll let him talk a little bit about, him and his family and what they do.
Okay, welcome. Thank you, brother.
You're muted,
I think
Pitsira.
you're muted. Unmute. Brother Pitsira?
You're right.
Oh.
You're right. I was on mute. I didn't pay attention.
No.
Okay. Again, I just want to say thank you so much, my sisters, for this beautiful afternoon, and greeting all our listeners, of Harlem Network News. My name is Pitsira Yamabala, living in Brooklyn from South Africa, and I am just so excited to be part of Wakanda. And this word Wakanda for me, really, it's a heavy word each time I'm thinking about it, because I will share with you just in few languages that I know what Kanda, like the word Kanda mean. You go to the Bakongo people, they'll tell you that it's about like community. In Zulu, Kanda is like your head. And when we are speaking about it as like, on the streets, we call it like a tsotsital. So tsotsital is like a tsotsi language. So they say tsotsi language is like the language that is spoken by, young men on the street. They say Wakanda. When they say like somebody Wakanda, it means that this person, he puts things together. He makes things happen. And so just like Wakanda in totality, and Wakanda forever, as a unity, as a community, as a people who are working together, as a people who take pride, in who they are, in their cultures, and seeing where they're coming from, where they are, so that, you know, we can continue to forge forward in a way that we can look back at some of our heroes and ancestors and heroes who really guided us, you know, to go as an African people. So we are so excited, and actually, before we are even excited now, we were so excited in 2019, you know, to be part of the Wakanda celebration, the festival, you know, where myself and my wife, we were featured as one of the models, and we were just so showered with much love of the organizers and the people, you know, just seeing the love, just seeing the gear, how people are dressed, seeing the food, seeing the artifacts, you know, and feeling the atmosphere that is just filled with type of lifestyle that you will want to see every single day. That brings hope, you know, that makes you feel like, you know, this is it, you know, we got it. If we live like this, there isn't anything that we may not achieve. So this time, myself, I'm gonna be bringing a group of friends who are musicians, and we are so ready, you know, to Wakanda. I told you what Wakanda means. So we are so ready to Wakanda, you know, and with us we're bringing different sounds, you know, of Africa. Most of us actually in the band, three of us will be coming from South Africa, and then I've got a brother who's coming from Algeria. There's a brother who's coming from Burkina Faso, you know, and then I've got my son Malcolm who's on cello and a bass, and we're just gonna be bringing like some good vibe and good music and creating such a very good atmosphere, you know, responding to all that everybody will be giving us. So it's a range really of like different African old folk songs, including some maybe songs of Miriam Makeba, Baba Tshepo, who's one of our great musicians who just passed. We want to put a special tribute, especially the song that we'll be doing. It also will be pay tribute to all of our ancestors, especially who transitions during this time of Corona. We will be doing like national anthems, you know, of Tanzania, you know, honoring where also my sister Rose, she is from. Also doing a black or maybe African American national anthem, lift up every voice and sing. And we're hoping that everybody of African descent, they know this song, because national anthems are not meant to be sung by one person, even if we could have like a leader, but everybody should be able to sing the song with us. So we're looking forward for a great vibe led by our ancestors.
Okay, this sounds really, really exciting. And I love, I'm Terri Wisdom. This is Harlem Network News, coming to you live. We are the voice and the drumbeat of Harlem and Harlems of the world. But I'm loving what I'm hearing about the concept of Wakanda. You know, it's a deeper dive, and I think it's very important. And it's great that, you know, Wakanda continues in the tradition of what it really meant, because I feel, you know, film and music and television and media really have the capacity to impact lives. So you all are taking the Wakanda and continuing it. So I love it. So can you tell folks, you know, how they can attend, what they need to do? Give us, we've had a little bit of a lineup just in terms of what's going to happen with the Black National Anthem and, you know, so on and so forth. But if you want to just give us a picture of it and then let people know what they need to do to attend and so on and so forth. Thank you.
Okay, for our people to attend, they can go to our website, which is wakandacelebration.org. When they go there, they can register. It's a free event. We just want to keep account of who's coming, so that in case there's anything we need to reach anybody. And when you go there, it will take you to our Eventbrite page, and then you could just register. and everybody's welcome to come. And the hours are from 10 to 8 p.m. And we're going to have performances all day long. And I guess I didn't mention that also I have a gallery here. I'm the founder of Luangisa African Gallery.
Okay.
I was born and raised in Tanzania, and I've had the gallery for the past 25 years, and it's going to be 25 years. It was 25 years come June. So we're also celebrating the gallery, the African Gallery. So it's going to be open from 10 to 2, and then we're going to have the outdoor market all day long. So it's a lot of festivities going on here. So they can go to our website, which is wakandacelebration.org, and they can register to come, and the tickets are free.
I want to just speak a little bit about we're going to have vendors that day too. And I just want to speak a lot about just a little for our audience, because this is a very special audience that watches Harlem Network News. That the thing that I love about the Luangisa Gallery and the artifacts that they are bringing to us is that they come directly from the artisans in the country that they're from. So you'll find Somalian beadwork, you find South African, you find Kenya, wood, you find baskets from Ghana, baskets from
Zimbabwe,
I mean,
Zambia, Burkina Faso. We carry everything from the whole of Africa. And actually, we really work with women that make the baskets, and so that they could support the children. Women mean a lot to us, and we support them 100%.
Okay.
And we carry all kinds of artifacts, as you can see.
You can see a few things in the back here, the feather hats, the juju hats from Cameroon. And then Rose and I are wearing the traditional South African hats that we love. And she has the best Maasai hats that I've ever seen, with as much variety for every kind of head and every kind of, style. So you can, if you like to have your whole head in and have that grand entrance, or maybe you just want to have a medium entrance, all those can exist that come from us. And that brings me to the wearable art experience.
Okay.
What we do at 5 o'clock, Pitsura and I are going to give, with the artifacts from the Luangisa Gallery, the African Gallery, a wearable art experience, sound, word, visual, an experience. So I'm asking you to come, make sure you're there. We also have a great a sister who's from the Cameroon. Oh,
Kaisa.
She's at 3 o'clock. So these are some of the things you just don't want to get there at 3. Plan to come, do some shopping.
Support the vendors.
Support those vendors.
We're going to have great food, African food,
yes,
American food, Caribbean food.
All the diaspora will be represented. Absolutely. And then we have a children's Watoto village that'll be happening at around 11:30, right? 11:30, 11:40. And then we have a marching band, because we got to bring the marching band in, because they're the ones that keep the African spirit all over the South.
Beautiful.
Going with the drum and all the things that the drum has. And so we have some young people here and up here in the North, as we call it, us Harlem people call it up here, the North. We have people in the Mount Vernon area called the Ice Cold
Marching Band.
Right, Ice Cold. So they're going to kick it off at 11 o'clock. So come spend the whole day with us.
It's a whole day family event.
Come see your friends, bring some friends, and take in the energy of the Wakanda celebration.
This is bringing Africa to Mount Vernon, Westchester, New York.
Beautiful.
Westchester.
Yes.
I also just want to ask, and just make a statement, because in our community, obviously we have a lot going on, but even with all that's been going on with COVID and the variants, we are still here. We are still strong in spirit, and we are still strong in our faith. But I just wanted to find out, if there will be some exercising of social distancing, masking, and those kinds of things, because there are people who are, have comorbidities. And
I'm glad
I'm glad you asked that.
I'm glad you asked that. Yes.
Yes, because we're gonna have the Mount, we have a partner, the Mount Vernon Neighborhood Health Center. The truck is gonna be here, and they're gonna be administering the COVID vaccine to anyone that's here for free. And also we're gonna have all the protocols for the COVID-19 in place.
okay.
So we're gonna have those masks. Masks are mandatory. We
Okay.
have a mandatory mask in place, and we'll be exercising it and reminding people, and with the social distancing, with that 6 foot, social distancing all around.
And then also we're gonna have Minority Workforce New York. They're gonna come and help us with spraying the area to make sure that the air is clean and safe. They're gonna do it first thing in the morning, during the day, and at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So everything is in place.
And
Absolutely.
as you see, we're Watoto friendly.
Yes. Hello.
There's Samuel. So he's here. He's gonna be on hand right there in the Watoto village,
Sounds wonderful.
making sure everything is going on.
I'm sure. So thank you for sharing that and bringing in all that information. And for those of you who are just joining us, this is Harlem Network News. I'm Terri Wisdom, and I'm here speaking with Rose and with Aiassatou and with Brother Pizarra, and they're talking about the incredible celebration, Wakanda Celebration, that is going to be happening in Mount Vernon. And that is going to take place. What is the date? What is the time? Aiassatou Bey Grecia, please. You're muted. You're muted, Aiassatou.
It takes me a minute.
Okay, that's okay.
So September 4th, which is Saturday, starting at 11 o'clock at 374 Hawthorne Terrace.
Okay.
And like I said, it's right in Mount Vernon. You can take the Metro North, or you can also take the 2 train to the last stop. And then there's a bus that comes around Hawthorne Terrace. You're gonna have to go to your Google Maps,
Okay.
and that'll help you to get exactly where it is. It's a residential neighborhood.
Okay.
And again, laid back, family, bring your little stool if you have one, so that you can, and I guarantee you're gonna see people
Okay.
and people that have come from all the Wakandas around the New York area and beyond. I got people coming from Baltimore, people coming from Ohio to take place. Everybody seems to perk up when you say Wakanda forever. So that's that.
Forever. Thank you.
Wakanda forever.
Yes, that has become our mantra, and I'm so happy that you all are doing the celebration and actually putting it into real life, because that's what's important. So Aiassatou, would you share a little bit about how you and Rose connected, and how you and Brother Pizarra connected? What is the connection? We know it's a circle, and our circle will not be unbroken, but if you would just share.
Well, interesting you should ask that. Oops.
Yeah,
We
got you.
we all come from the our larger Wakanda nation, which starts all things Brooklyn.
Okay.
So the African Street Carnival, the African Street Festival, which has been going on for 50 years.
Yes, yes.
So that's where the Wakandans meet once a year. You know that. I've seen you all there.
We were all there this year, and we'd love to give a big shout out to Baba Segun, who has been very supportive of Harlem Network News, and Sister Sharon, their PR person, Sandra Bell, their stage manager forever. So once again, Wakanda forever. So yeah.
So we all actually met there.
Okay.
That's
You know,
very true.
But
Mhm.
we've been also doing our respective Wakanda work where we are.
Okay.
So I know that Sister Rose, I've been seeing her at the African Arts celebration, carnival. What is it? Festival?
International African Arts Festival.
Yeah. You know, I remember when it was an African Street Festival.
For the
So.
past 25 years.
You all do, right, in Boys and Girls High.
Yes.
Right. So
that's where we were.
yeah, so we've met there, and then Brother Pitsira, I believe.
I met him in Brooklyn too, like 6 years ago, right?
No, we actually may have met like in 20, that should be like 2018 maybe, also at
Yes.
the international
Should be finished in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, we just connected, like I said, you know, the sister just mentioned that it's a community, you know, it's a small world. You meet, you greet, you feel each other, and then you want to work just to continue. This is the work that we're doing, you know. It has been said long time ago, we're just continuing the work of our ancestors. And when it flourishes, it shows that ancestors are happy, you know, so we just have to continue doing it.
And we're really lucky to have Brother Shagun and the people from the African arts as resources.
Absolutely.
As resources. So you know, so they're very helpful and very supportive. Sister Ellen and people that have been, you know, working with that. You know, Sister Anuka, all those, you know, sisters and brothers out there, and a lot of the people that, you know, like I said, we've been leaning on them for a lot of advice, and you know, and then of course there's some ideas that have come straight out of our organization as well. So we're excited. We're excited because every year it gets bigger and bigger. And like I said, I remember when African Street Carnival was on Claver Place, and it was one block.
Yes.
So
we'd be remiss if we didn't also salute our ancestor, Baba Jitu Weusi, which they had a street naming for him in conjunction with festival this past year. So I believe and I know that there are a lot of foot soldiers that are connected and guiding us from the ancestor world. And as you said, Brother Pitsar, we're doing the work. So if you would share a little bit, I'm Terri Wisdom. This is Harlem Network News, and we are the voice and the drumbeat of Harlem. But Brother Pitsar, would you share a little bit about your music, the development of it, and you know what you're doing with the music, because we love it. Thank you.
Unmute.
That's the best part I would love to talk about. I think like in most cases, I would say that it really gems from like my own family. So in South Africa, where I'm from a place called Limpopo, which is around like Limpopo River going into Musiwatunya, where I think they know it as Victoria Falls. So that area is
we started getting
just closer to Zimbabwe, is at the northern part, and is a mountainous kind of, you know, tropical areas with lots of rain, lots of different types of like indigenous fruits, of course, food, and including you know, I would say like Western fruits, you know, due to the colonizers who came and planted in all our farms. So growing up like a very early age, like we did a lot of libations, you know, big libation every year. Ogupatla, where we honoring and acknowledging our ancestors, and we invite like different types of families near and far, and there will always be like a song that my family will sing, especially during full moon, you know, because we did not need any lights, we didn't have any street lights by then, so full moon was really beautiful. And there was a song that goes like, Pitia mavala bala iya katakata, aikatake, pitia mahoa iya katakata, aikatake, pitia mavala bala iya katakata. So pitia mavala bala, it really means like a zebra with its colors. It's making like its own moves, it's dancing, it's doing all these things. And then they led me within the circle to do my own dancing and chants, and everything. And little did I know that at that time was actually an initiation, to a boys choir that my brother founded when I was like 5, and in my own home. So in my own home is a place where all the children around my section will come into my family, and we will play all these different types of indigenous games. So it was easier for us, to be in a what we call then a boys choir, and that my brother helped to facilitate and found. And within like a year, obviously, I found myself being able to lead. And I remember like some of the compositions, back then, I may have did, from a young man's perspective, some few of them. And later, when in my early teenagehood, then I went into a confirmation of a Lutheran church. That's where my grandma was going. And then in the confirmation, I then learned, a lot now of staff notation, how to a little bit read music, and then growing up, becoming a youth leader, becoming a church choir conductor of, and also of the school that I was going to, and then being given an opportunity to also help with other schools, around my neighborhood. And then one of our main radio station from my own language, which we speak what we call Sipedi, and they had a choral society. I learned a lot about opera and music then, and then I took it a little bit higher when I went to Johannesburg, then where I got introduced into many type of musicians, sound, gigs, and then performing like here and there. So what I'm actually given as a talent is a voice. It's a very, very great, powerful voice. I do
Agreed.
a tenor soloist from opera point of view, but then I do it in my own African way, where most of the compositions I can see that I did not know that I was troubled so much in my heart, but I found that most of the songs I talk about the GM from the struggle, that we went through in South Africa, and of course, learning about what African people are going through, throughout the world. Like each and every song, actually, you will be listening. It has the word Africa in it. I was like, damn, most of my song, even if this song is just about like love, but I will talk about like an African love, talk about the struggle, talking about like the politics, but most importantly, also talking about hope and the future. Like
I just
okay.
want to butt in 1 second with you, Priscilla, because I know you could go on and on about music because it's your heart. It is your heart, and it comes through in the way that you speak, the way that you play. But what I just want to and I know we're coming down on time, but Terri, Pisura's son, Malcolm, oh my goodness. We had a press event and he played the cello and the bass. He goes to he comes out of the Noel Pointer School in Brooklyn, which I feel really honored at because I went to high school with Noel Pointer.
Okay.
But the young brother just showed up and showed out. And my goodness, if you don't come to Wakanda for any other reason, but there's lots of reasons.
Okay.
You gotta come see what this young brother can do on this cello and on this bass. And Pisura's group is going to be live with the wearable art. And I'm so excited to be working with him on that piece of the project.
Okay.
Yeah.
September 4th, people.
Saturday.
Exactly.
Saturday. September 4th. Remember, it's a free event. We just ask you to sign up on Eventbrite so that we can keep a track. And there's also, as Terry was saying, there's also the contract tracing aspect. We need to know everybody that's coming through. Okay. So if you can do that, that would be really, really helpful. I know we're not really used to doing things like that, but we got to get to some new normals. But the Eventbrite at least helps us keep track of who's there. So that's September 4th. The Watoto Village, first the Ice Cold Marching Band at 11. Then you have you have the Watoto Village, and then we have Sister Kaisa. We have Sister Coco Gonza.
We have Fuchsia Dance.
Fuchsia Dance.
RBG Girls.
RGB Girls, Red, Black, and Green. RBG Girls, who we actually met at in Brooklyn, and then the Wearable Art Experience. So,
and also we want to tell everybody, please wear your Wakanda outfit.
Yes, represent.
Come in your decor attire, and
absolutely,
yes,
absolutely.
Fuchsia Dance. Who is the director of Fuchsia Dance?
Fumilayo Chesney.
Yes, she's a very old friend. We actually did a play together some years ago, Kofi's Village, and I remember meeting her in dance class at.
We really try hard in everything that we do to make it intergenerational, and also we want to make sure we're recognizing the old heads, the people who have been holding it down, along with the new. Wakanda's not just for the new and that's for the old. Wakanda's for everybody.
Yeah, I love the intergenerational piece. And thank you. I'm Terri Wisdom. This is Harlem Network News. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, harlemnetworknews.com. We're even on Clubhouse because we're about the intergenerational. And if you check out TikTok, I have a TikTok that one of our 15-year-old interns did. And I just found out we've been getting like 1,000 hits on that. So we're there. And we want to thank you all for coming and also for speaking about how we can actually protect ourselves in COVID. And our next guest, Dawn Jones of NAN, has joined us. We're making our time. She is going to speak about the March on Washington, which was the march on for the vote, which took place yesterday. And Martin Luther King Jr.'s son was there and all of the King family. So it was an amazing event, Reverend Al Sharpton. And as I say, we are still here. So Sister Rose, would you like to just give, or I think Aiassatou and Rose, are you still there? So
we're still here.
We're still here.
If you would just give, just some closing, and I just want to encourage all of our community, not the debate of vaccinated or unvaccinated, but everybody needs to try to do what they can to strengthen their immune systems. Take your vitamin C, take your vitamin D3, take your zinc, breathe your air, steam, rinse your nasal cavities, whatever it is, because the virus is moving. Vaccinated or unvaccinated, it's happening. And we just need to stay safe. And
so we're gonna institute while we're in Wakanda. We have a nice socially distant way that we greet. Of course,
okay,
we can greet, right?
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. So that's September 4th. Go to the website
wakandacelebration.org
and take a look. You can look at even past Wakandas on the Luangisa.com. But stay.
No. You can look at it. wakandacelebration.org. You could see the past Wakandas there, and also you could register for free. There's a link to our Eventbrite page.
Okay.
wakandacelebration.org.
Will you be streaming, or will they be able to view some of?
Yes. We're gonna be streaming live on Facebook and Instagram. Okay. Yes, and our Instagram handle is Luangisa. Wait, it's Wakanda Celebration. That's our Instagram page. The gallery is luangisa.com.
Okay, thank you so much. And it's an honor. Thank you, Sister Mama Aiassatou Bey Grecia, for bringing
Asante sana.
Rose and letting us meet and meeting you, my brother. It's been an honor, and we look forward. And we know that a luta continua, the struggle.
Luta continua.
Thank you very, very much.
All
And
right.
I know
Thank
Chad.
you so much for having us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wakanda forever.
Well, very much
Forever.
appreciated.
You see the sign right here, Wakanda forever.
Oh,
Yes,
absolutely.
exactly.
I see your shoe. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ashe.
I
So,
share.
welcome, Sister Dawn Jones. So great to see you. This is the second part of our programming. And we have Sister Dawn Jones here with us. And even after being a bus captain, leaving New York City at 3:30 yesterday morning, Sister Dawn was so kind to come and speak to Harlem Network News. So we thank you for that. And Sister Dawn, if you would just introduce yourself and then share a little bit about what happened yesterday.
Greetings, Harlem Network, and thank you, Terri Wisdom. And I also want to wish a happy birthday. Today would have been one of my favorite singers, Michael Jackson's birthday. But thank you so much for having me on. My name is Dawn L. Jones. I'm a national board member at the National Action Network and chair of the Political Action Committee. And we actually kind of had our own little bus yesterday. We had a lot of folks that came as far as Long Island, Jamaica, Queens, Brooklyn, and other places on our bus. But my faithful members of my committee were right there on the bus with us as we traveled to the District of Columbia for the March for Voting Rights. And also, I have to say, they might as well have called it the March for Statehood, because they definitely got the issue out about District of Columbia being a statehood, Washington being a statehood. And I can remember when I went to school down there in the late 80s, and they're still speaking about Washington being a state. So it was definitely a wonderful experience going down to Washington, D.C. As soon as I hit there, I felt like, wow, I went out of town, out of the country last month. I needed that change of scenery. As soon as I got to Washington, it was wonderful. We got there was like a mini rally in the beginning of different ministers speaking in support of Voting Rights Act and HR 1, the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. I'm sorry, that's HR 4 to restore the vote. Reverend Sharpton was lined up with the King family and the siblings of John Lewis. They started the march off. I kind of joined in, and I happened to be right near Larry Ham, who was yelling, "What do we want? Voting rights. When do we want it? Now."
And this is Harlem Network News. I'm going to interject.
Yes.
I want to make sure everybody knows everything. So can you break it down? What is NAN? Who is Brother Larry Ham? Let us know, because it's important.
Okay, well, you know how I'll do it? I'll give you a little history of NAN. I came to National Action Network in 1999 after the Amadou Diallo case. I met Reverend Sharpton before National Action Network was started. When I was living with my father in Teaneck, New Jersey, Philip Pinnell was shot in the back by the Teaneck Police Department, but I didn't join until 1999. That was the Amadou Diallo case. Now, NAN was founded in New York City in 1991. National Action Network Incorporated, NAN, has been on the front lines of creating social change, representing 3 decades of giving voice to the voiceless and advancing for the dispossessed. Birthed out of the same movement led by Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., NAN has continued to give life to Dr. King's dream that America would live up to its promise of equality under the law and equal opportunity for all of its citizens. Under the leadership of its founder and president, Reverend Al Sharpton, and with the guidance of the board chairman, Reverend Dr. W. Franklin Richardson, senior pastor, Grace Baptist Church, Mount Vernon, New York, where coincidentally where there will be a Wakanda festival on September 4th. NAN has steadfastly remained committed to the principles of police misconduct and abuse, gun violence, assaults on voting rights, workers' rights, affirmative action, inequities in education and employment opportunities, access to capital, healthcare, and discrimination motivated by race, class, gender, sexual orientation, or status, religion, and national origin. NAN has been nationally recognized as the go-to organization for families facing tragedies like police brutality, gang violence, as well as the loss of homes or business due to predatory lending. NAN has advocated for those who have been locked out of schools or precluded from receiving a quality education because of the color of their skin, and those who have denied the right to vote, drive, or walk while being Black. The families of George Floyd, Stephen Clark, Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice, Sean Bell, Amadou Diallo, Alberta Sproul, and others all turn to NAN and Reverend Sharpton to ensure that authorities understand that Black lives matter and that policing and the criminal justice system itself are broken and must be reformed. NAN's effort in raising awareness and answering the calls for justice in these situations has led to a transformation of policing and criminal justice in the years. So
Okay.
that's kind of like a brief, in about 4 paragraphs about who NAN is and what NAN does. And we've been on the front lines and fighting injustices.
Okay, thank you. So I'm sorry I interrupted, just because I always want our audience, a lot of our audience, when some of these incidents happen, were not even born when the formation of NAN happened. So I don't like to throw things around, especially here at Harlem Network News, because we know that knowledge is power. So
Yes.
next we're speaking about Larry Hamm and what he was saying and doing, and I wanted you to expound on who that is.
Right, his organization is People Organization for Progress. He ran for Senate in the state of New Jersey, and he happened to be one year our Kwanzaa keynote speaker. The Political Action Committee and the Disabilities Committee and now Education Committee, we host Kwanzaa every 4th, or if there's a 5th Saturday in the month of December. We also have hosted the rallies for Kwanzaa, but whatever day Kwanzaa falls on, we have a keynote speaker, we have vendors, and he happened to be one of our speakers. But the way the march went, we just happened to be right where he is. There was a brother with some sound, and then he's there yelling, "What do we want? Voting rights. When do we want it now?" So we got all the way. And then there was like this little refreshment stand. There was a lady, we went into the American Museum that's right there. Then when we got up to the march, I don't think we did not know we were sitting in somebody else's church service. It was a tent. And I looked up and I'm saying, wait a minute, we're supposed to be over there. I could see the rally starting. So when we got to the rally, first they said only VIPs in the center. And then they asked everyone to come in. But it was so hot there, okay? And as Reverend Sharpton said, I saw a lot of y'all taking the chairs and going off to the shade, but that's what a lot of us did that. And right as we were leaving, a lady did actually pass out. So I think it was kind of smart for us to sit under the shade at the rally. But I mean, the highlight I say of the rally would be Ashley Sharpton's speech. She did a wonderful speech. She heads the youth huddle at the National Action Network.
And she's
as far as the youth and voting, and of course Reverend Sharpton. We actually left right after Reverend Sharpton spoke because our bus was leaving at 3. But Reverend Sharpton ended the rally, and right before him was Martin Luther King III. So they were a wonderful host of speakers, Congress people, and they really enforced that this HR 4 get passed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing and being boots on the ground. I'm Terri Wisdom. This is Harlem Network News. And last year we were actually live at the March on Washington. And as she mentioned, all of the families of all of the Blacks who had been killed were all there. And we marched from the Lincoln Monument over to the Dr. Martin Luther King Monument. And if you have not visited that monument, it is so empowering. It's almost like you're walking into the Egyptian tombs. And I haven't had that pleasure yet, but that's what it felt like. And then when you went around and, you know, into the base of the tomb, there was this incredible statue of Dr. King just looking out over the water. So if you get to Washington, D.C., or even if you live in that area, you need to make sure you go, because it's a healing and it's very, very empowering. Now, what can you be specific, Dawn, as to what the HR bill is, the John Lewis bill? If you can just expound on what the differences are and what the holdup is, because I mean, it's just very interesting that here we are in 2021 and there's an extreme pushback with voter suppression. And then even here in New York, and I know Dawn Jones is very involved in this. She does a lot of voter registration. She was doing it at Harlem Week. She's a member of the Fred E. Samuels Democratic Club. And they just had a wonderful fundraiser and picnic out there in Riverbank State Park. But here in New York, we have a different kind of voter suppression. It's not enforced, but it's almost like a systemic voter suppression where folks are not coming out to vote. We just had a primary, and you know, only I think 28% of all of New York City voted.
Right.
That is, as the elders and the ancestors say, that's a crime and a shame.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure what that's about, but I almost want to say it's systemic voter suppression and people feeling a disconnect, like, you know, whatever they're going to vote, it doesn't matter. And as if they really don't have control. However, public officials work for the public, and we also pay their salary, you know, be it through taxes from our salaries or just every time we go to the store and they tax us. So we've got to get connected and realize that we have control and we of course matter. So if you would share a little bit about the breakdown of those bills and the impact of yesterday, and particularly what Reverend Sharp did in his message and the message of Martin Luther King, is it the third?
Yes, well, see, the HR 4 restores the Voting Rights Act, and the House actually passed it on last week, the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. So now it has to go to the United States Senate. A part of the reason I think it's really been pushed because of the late John Lewis, with his transition, I think it's something that people really, really want to get, you know, I hate to say sometimes when people die, you want to get something done that you wish you could have gotten done while that person was living. So I know for a couple of years since I've been heading the National Action Network Political Action Committee, we have had forums on the Voting Rights Act. And the ideas of hosting these forums really come from the members that are sitting around the table. We have one elder, Catherine Nixon, who's 100 years this year. She's 100 years of age. She's lived through 2 pandemics, and she gives us a lot of ideas about what forums we should have. So we've had these type of forums like every August since I've been heading the committee 2013. But this is the first year where we took it to the national level, where we were in the District of Columbia, where everyone can see us. You know, they've been showing it on television. Reverend Sharpton is on NBC. So I think that's really what the big push for it is now. In addition, is that when you go to vote, you're not discouraged. As a person who's worked on the polls for 31 years, if people don't see their name in the book, they just walk out. They don't even want to be bothered. We try to do whatever we can to encourage them to stay, especially for folks who've been voting for years, and then all of a sudden their name doesn't appear on the roster. So I think another thing that may discourage folks from voting is when you're not getting the services. You know, you're in the complexes and either your rents are going up, or like here in where I am now with capital improvement. So, and when we don't see our politicians present, I think people are feeling like, well, why should I go out and vote? I just walked to the store just now, and the person that passed me said, how do you think Brian Benjamin's will do? And I said, well, I think he'll do quite well. I was able to attend his service last week. I was on my way to Harlem Hospital to get my negative COVID test. I got a text and I went to the service, and I think that he'll do all right, but the people are a little optimistic because of the housing situation here in New York, and number two, the gun violence. Yes. Okay, as soon as I hit home last night, there was a shooting on Far Rockaway on a beach. So I'm like, now you go to the beach thinking you're gonna rest tranquil and relaxation, and there's a shooting. So it's been so many shootings, and people, I think they're feeling discouraged as to when it's time to go vote. It's like, why should I vote? Okay, and right as I'm sitting here with you, they show our former governor, Eliot Spitzer, and things like that discourage people from going out and voting. But I look at it as what our forefathers had to do to vote and the right to vote, and we just have to hold our elected officials accountable. But I just feel that this bill is important to be passed so that there won't be tactics for those, especially those that want to vote. They're not going to be discouraged from voting. I mean, one thing that I always do, I always vote on the machine. I have moved a couple of times, but I've been blessed that every time I've moved, my name has always been on that roster. And I just have been someone that has just always worked. I mean, I think I missed one election because of a delivery, but I've worked on every year since for 31 years, basically, worked and voted. So, but I know that everyone does not share that same sentiment. So I think that this bill will help, especially for those that already voted, and it won't discourage people from not voting.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, now as far as the turnout is concerned, we have to find some way. I mean, see, maybe it's knocking on doors. See what it is when people run for office, they're knocking on the doors to vote for that person. But we need that backup person to come there to make sure that you're just going out to vote. No matter who you're voting for, the fact that you're coming out. Do you need assistance getting to the polls? I think that's the part that's lacking. And years ago, when I first got into Harlem politics, there were caravans. I know we used to ride on caravans, blow horns, and we had a little bit of that with ranked choice voting, but I don't think that is being done enough. Now, once the people that get in office, it's kind of like people get kind of a little laid back, and they're not doing the things to get people out to vote. So. I felt being down there in Washington, it was just so exciting, just seeing the little, the slogans, Black Votes Matter, people had on T-shirts, I had a little button on, but seeing all the different slogans as it related to voting.
Okay, well, thank you, Dawn. And that's a great part of why Harlem Network News is here. It's a great part of why Harlem Network News was formed. And we began at the onset of COVID. I'm Terri Wisdom, I'm your host. I'm here in the second part of our programming today with Dawn Jones. And Dawn is on the national board for NAN, National Action Network. And she returned late yesterday evening from the March On for voting, which took place in Washington and in other cities, Miami, Georgia, so this was a global thing. And it was also the 58th anniversary of the March on Washington.
Yes.
And Martin Luther King III was there, Reverend Al Sharpton was there. They were the closing speakers. And I know that you can still go to NAN, or National Action Network, to their Facebook page or to YouTube. We also streamed it on Harlem Network News. So you should be able to pick it up if you were not able to attend. But it's very important. A lot of times major media doesn't really carry our stories, or if they do carry a story that's about our community, it may be skewed. So Harlem Network News, especially during this time of COVID, and as our Dr. Maulana Karenga said, we are facing many pandemics in our community. The pandemic of systemic racism, the pandemic of, medical inequity, education. I mean, we're facing a lot of pandemics, and we've been facing them for 400 years. So we have a lot to do. We have a lot to deal with, but Harlem Network News is a part of that great change, because media can often indeed be the message. So my sentiments, Dawn, we would love to work with you in terms of just getting folks out to vote, getting them registered to vote. We have some very important elections coming up in November, and we don't want to take anything for granted. We have our mayoral election, which the Democratic nominee is Eric Adams, a Black man who is currently the borough president there in Brooklyn. We also have our the borough president of Manhattan coming up, and we have several candidates, and particularly our city council here in our District 9, which are incumbent. Basically, it was a very close race, and our incumbent, gave in, and we have a new person who is on the ballot, Christian Jordan Richardson. So we really, Christian, I'm going to put it out there on Harlem Network News. We expect to have you on the show, and we need to know who you are and what you're representing. And we as, citizens of the country, citizens of the world, citizens of New York City, and first and foremost, citizens of Harlem, we have to hold everybody feet to the fire. We do want to congratulate Brian Benjamin, our state senator.
Yes.
Was appointed. That was a phenomenal, appointment right in Harlem. Our new governor, Kathy Hochul, came to Harlem and stood in the state office building with the honor guard. Our Honorable Hazel Dukes, also known as Ma Dukes, as well as Honorable Reverend Sharpton. They were all on the dais. But I think that that was a wise decision and a positive direction, having a new governor, first woman governor of New York State, for her to choose a Harlemite and for her to come to Harlem. Prayerfully, that's the direction that she's going to move in, showing us that Harlem matters, because Harlem, we are a sleeping giant. And at this point, so much has happened that we will be holding feet to the fire. We're very grateful that Brian has been elected, and we feel like, okay, this is somebody that we're going to have his ear. But Brian also knows Harlem, and it's going to be a straighten up and fly right kind of thing. So we're looking forward to that, and we're looking forward to being included, because we do matter, and we have a lot that has to be dealt with in our community. I'm Terri Wisdom, it's Harlem Network News, but from garbage cleanup to educational inequity, medical, the homeless, we have so much to deal with. So Dawn, if you would just like to have some closing words, and I was hoping Derek Perkison, who is Chief of Staff and many other titles for the NAN organization, he is right now on a boat ride celebrating the birthday of our Honorable Inez Dickens, who will be on Harlem Network News. And Derek had said he was going to try to come on and share the boat ride and, let us officially say happy birthday to Honorable Inez Dickens. So Dawn, did you want to share any other things? Do you know about what the numbers looked like yesterday in terms of the march and what the energy was like? if you would just.
Yes, I would like to close out with saying a happy birthday to the Honorable Inez Dickens. I'm sorry I couldn't be with her this afternoon, but I actually have to work this evening at the New Amsterdam Musical Association located at 107 West 130th Street, right here in the village of Harlem. One of my favorite groups, Keith the Captain, will be there with the Harmony Experience.
All right.
Otherwise, I most likely would have been on that vote, and I understand it might be hard for Derek to get away because it's an all-white affair and it's a very, very nice event. But as far as the numbers, I can remember Reverend Sharpton stating there was over 20,000 people at the march, and I thought that it was very well attended for the subject matter. And I was just glad to be there as we protected our vote and we were marching on for voting rights. And our committee will continue. We will do voter registration in front of the House of Justice located at 106 West 145th Street, right here in the village of Harlem, on Thursdays and Friday with the NAN Disability Committee, where we give out PPE equipment, masks, gloves, hand sanitizer, and on some Saturdays, Saturday afternoons, after, the rally is every Saturday from 9 to 11 at the House of Justice. And we will also be doing voter registration up until the voter registration deadline, which is on October 8th this year. So we will continue to advance this agenda. As Reverend Sharpton stated, in 1963, 250,000 people marched for civil rights at the March on Washington. And today our civil rights are threatened again, and 700,000 DC residents remain disenfranchised. So on yesterday, the March on Washington, as you stated, was the 58th anniversary. We marched again for voting rights and DC statehood. And it took to the streets of Black Lives Matter Plaza, the White House, the Capitol, and shadows of the United States Capitol to demand voting right protections and access to the ballot. So we will continue this fight as a community. What we're gonna do next month in October, Domestic Violence Awareness Month, there's a young lady that will share as a domestic violence survivor who was incarcerated and then got her master's degree, her experience in coming back and being able to vote. And then they're gonna share with us the ballot questions that will be on the ballot on November 2nd, as we go to vote for mayor and all the other offices this upcoming November. So that's what we have planned for. That's on Saturday, October 30th, 2021. Our forums always start at 12:30 p.m. at the House of Justice. Okay. So once again, thank you so much for having me this afternoon. And I definitely made every effort to keep this time open to be with you on this afternoon. Thank you.
And we appreciate, thank you, Dawn Jones of NAN. You were sending us pictures from the march. The Facebook one, you got to send again because I, for some reason, couldn't open it, but
okay.
I got the other pictures straight. So we really appreciate you being boots on the ground, and we will have you back. And I would want to get those questions that are the ballot questions so that I can, as Harlem Network News, begin to circulate that, because, with the ranked choice voting, only 17% of New York City voted. And that is how ranked choice voting was instituted. And most people really understand, even if they did vote, what they were voting for. So questions matter. They can impact our lives. We matter, and we have to stay strong, stay vigilant, and be clear that knowledge is power, and we must be engaged, critical. So we thank you very, very much. And this is a very important day and time. We had the people from the Wakanda Celebration, which is going to take place on September 4th. They were on, and very befittingly, it is 1 year. Yesterday marked the 1 year anniversary of the transition of Chadwick Boseman.
Yes.
He has left a great legacy. He's also a graduate of our great HBCU University, and my children had the honor of being friends and performing and working with him at Howard University. So he is very near and dear to my heart.
Yes.
We just want to share. And once again, our prayers for all the ancestors, and a special prayer goes out to our district leader, Cordell Clare,
Amen.
lost her son. And so we are standing strong with her, and Harlem Network News is vowed to support in any way we can. And we are just all warriors, because even with all of that, I did see our sister Cordell Clare. She was there at the appointment of Brian Benjamin. So that is the strength and the shoulders that we stand on. So
And she was also at Riverbank State Park.
okay.
Yes, I was able to make it to the viewing of her son. And I also want to pray for Reverend Dr. Jesse Jackson and his wife, Jackie. I met Reverend Jackson at Virginia State University my senior year in college. He came down to lead a protest where they burnt down, the sixth family moved to Colonial Heights, Virginia, and they burnt their house down, and we had a rally throughout Colonial Heights. So I want to say a prayer to the family as well, because I understand that his wife is in ICU now. So I want to pray for them as well.
So our prayers continue, and for all those of us who are still right here and are relatively well at this point, we just want to ask you to please stay vigilant. You know, continue with your social distancing, your hand washing, your mask, and most importantly, vaccinated or unvaccinated, continue to build your immune system.
Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Yes.
And
Amen.
I also want to wish a happy birthday to Valerie Simpson of Ashford and Simpson.
Yes.
She had a wonderful birthday celebration on Thursday at the open mic. And I mean, that restaurant has been a staple and in place for over, oh my goodness, over 20 years, over 25 years.
Yes.
These are legacies that we have, and we need to continue the legacy. So have a good afternoon. And Derek, I know we'll catch you on a rain check. And we know that you're enjoying, and Honorable Inez Dickens, thank you for all the service. And she is going to come on Harlem Network News next week. And we are also reaching out to our state senator, Brian Benjamin, to get Brian Benjamin on, so that he can really talk to the community and just let us know what's in store and what we can expect. And of course, we would love our governor to come on, because I think it's important. President Biden, Vice President Harris, everybody needs to come to Harlem, okay? Because we are the Mecca, we are the center of the Black world. If you say Harlem, everybody knows of Harlem, and we determine a lot that happens. And as our great, and I'll close on this, as our great James Baldwin said, so goes Harlem, so goes the world. So don't forget, reach out, make your donations to harlemnetworknews.com, or buy a bag of New Harlem coffee as some of those proceeds come and help us to stay on the air. If you have a story, or you would like to write a story, we also have our newsletter now, which comes out twice a week, and will be coming out tomorrow. So thank you very much, Dawn, and definitely a foot soldier, and I appreciate you. Terri,
thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Terri Wisdom, Harlem Network News. Have a blessed and prosperous afternoon. Take care. Stay strong. A luta continua, the struggle continues.